Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fogdog and Basten. We are back with another episode and we have some exciting episodes coming up. So we're going to have Derek Rubis on the show, famous track and field fan and good friend of ours. We're going to have him on our podcast, and then also Kevin Kelly, who went to Drake. I know we mentioned this a couple of episodes ago, but quite a lot of stuff has kind of been going on. We've had a couple of races and we've been pretty busy men over the last couple of weeks. So those episodes are coming up. Stay tuned for them. But right now we're going to rip into this episode. Basten, what's been going on the last couple of weeks in your life? Training, and we had a race as well. How you been going?
Yeah, so training, I've been feeling pretty good. And Fog and I both had the Iowa State meet. I don't know what it was called, but some Iowa State meet.
Cyclone Open.
Yeah. So we had that meet about 2 weeks ago now.
Yep.
And going into it, my legs felt pretty good. Honestly, didn't feel quite as good going into the first one. And that really reflected in the race results. Man, I was skiing in the last 100 meters. But no, really, like going into it, my goal was just to really get that national qualifying time out of the way. And at the time, I was like, that'll be like under 3:58, I'll probably be in. But now looking at the results, obviously that's really changed. But yeah, those are my goals going in. How about you?
Yeah, pretty similar, honestly. I think in our final workout, we both kind of, we said to each other before it, this might not feel good. Before our final workout, that is, this might not feel good, but, whatever happens, we'll be all right. All we have to do is run probably around, 3:58. When you ran 3:58 high in December, it was kind of like that probably won't get in, but it could.
Yep.
And now it's like, if you're not like in the 3:57s, like you're probably not going.
You're irrelevant at this point.
It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. And by the end of the year, it might even be in the 3:56s.
Yeah, which is just unreal. I was looking at TFRS, which for anyone who doesn't know is like the college ranking system, is TFRRS. And it kind of just shows results and rankings from all meets and kind of colleges across the country. And I think 41 people so far in Division 1 have gone sub 4 this season.
Now, granted, we have to take that with a grain of salt because probably 38 of them are altitude conversions.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this because it makes me mad, but altitude conversions are...
Yeah.
What's wrong with the sport currently?
Oh, I honestly do completely agree.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, there was a 4:02 mile ran that converted to 3:54, which is...
Now, granted, Nico Young did kind of back that up. He ran 3:56, but when you live and you train at altitude and they train in that dome, they do their race pace stuff in that dome, it's not the same as someone who goes up to altitude, does a race, and then it's more difficult if you're not there all the time. And the way I see it, conversions should not be a thing anymore. As in, I get, obviously the altitude does affect how you run. 100% it does, but there's no way it can be 100% accurate. And like I was saying to you and our coach Jay last week, if you're going to do it for any meet, why don't you do it for all? I know at Iowa State, we're not at altitude at all, but surely being at, I don't know, even 500 feet has some sort of effect. Like why?
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
And then you're putting an asterisk by every single time that's ran.
It
just sounds ridiculous.
No, I completely agree.
But 8 seconds in a mile is just... That's night and day. I mean,
it's huge.
I mean, even 2 seconds in a mile, I feel like at this point is massive, especially when you're dealing with times like 3:57 and 3:59. I mean, that's just so huge. Different in the NCAA this year.
Yeah.
And like getting 8 seconds, that's just,
we need to get started. We need to go up to altitude and maybe we'll have our minds change. But, as well, on the bright side, Nico Young probably isn't going to be in the mile at Indoor Nationals, so we can probably cancel him out. But
I kind of hope he is.
One more thing. Yeah, true. Same. One more thing on that note. With the amount of funding and money that schools have today, like imagine for the Olympics, the 1500 qualifiers, 335.00, 335 flat. Imagine if you ran 340 on grass, or in this case at altitude, and you go, yeah, I ran 340, but it was on grass. Like, it'll count as like 333. I'm in the Olympics. I'll get through on time to the Olympic final by running this 340 on grass. Like, it just the Olympic committee or whoever's selecting will say, go and run on a normal track, get down to sea level, and Bob's your uncle. You're either going to run the time or you're going to find out that the conversion isn't 100% accurate. But it's the way it goes one day.
Just the way it is. I feel like the one thing that like I loved about running to begin with was there's no BS politics involved with it.
Yeah.
And now we're at the point where there is. And so it's just like, all right, well, this is annoying, but
yeah,
it is what it is. Our goals at Iowa State were 357 going in. He did that. I wasn't even a little bit close.
Well, you weren't far off it.
Until the last 120 meters, man. During that race, we got out really, really quick. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched the way that I like to run, but it's not like that. I generally go out towards the back of packs, finish with this huge kick. And I feel like going out that hard in the first 200 or 300 meters, even though it wasn't like that fast, like it wasn't like a sprint or anything, but just like going 2 seconds fast for that first 200, I feel like that really ruined the race in my head. Like I felt like I had no kick during the last lap. I felt like my legs felt like I was really just skiing, and it was just not, it wasn't what I wanted. I had to take a big like mental reflection after that. Just like think about things, like think about what I want to accomplish this year, like what I did wrong, what I can do better next time. And I really think now more than anything, I'm just frustrated, and I just really want to get back out there just to prove that I'm better than what people say I am and what people think I am.
Yeah. I know. I fully believe you are going to run faster, but for anyone who doesn't know, you might be thinking Basten ran 420 or something right now. He ran 359. So it's still an unreal run. Obviously nowhere near, what you wanted. Honestly, in any other year, it wouldn't be far off qualifying for nationals. Obviously it's not even a season's best. You ran 358 high in December, but overall, like being disappointed in a 359.4 is good signs of like kind of where you're at right now, I think. And hopefully over the next week or two, that'll come down a bit.
Yep. I hope so too. But yeah, let's get into how you felt during the race, because you definitely had a different experience than me. You were, man, that's some of the best running I've ever seen you do. I mean, besides what you did in the national final and indoor last year, but go into it.
So I was really pretty nervous, to be honest. Obviously I ran 1K the week before, 223 high, and felt pretty good, to be honest, running that. So I knew I was in decent shape, but I just, running a mile, having that extra 600, you've always got a little bit of doubt in your mind, am I going to hold it together for the whole way through? But yeah, we got out quick. The pacer went out pretty fast. And then me and Festus Legat, he's a 144 800 runner. We were then kind of looking at each other. I was running along next to him, and I was hoping he would get in behind the pacer and kind of tow us around a little bit, so that when the pacer did drop out, I wouldn't be leading essentially. But 100 in, he didn't want it. I actually said to him, go. And he didn't have any of it. I had to take it. I tucked in behind the pacer, who lasted 900, maybe 950-ish. He pulled out as we were going into the home straight with 2 laps to go, which is like 600 plus a home straight. So about 650-ish to go. And I kind of just put my foot down. I knew that I was on for something like pretty solid. But it was kind of like tough once he was gone, just mentally having to really grind through it, I guess, and really push right through to the line. But I was happy. 356.6. It worked out well. And it was number 6 in the NCAA when that happened. It's now number 8. and it should stay in the top 16. I would hope.
Man,
who knows though?
I know. I would say we're both cautiously optimistic that that's going to stay in the top 16.
God.
Just because you never know. But I mean, it'd be ridiculous if it didn't.
Yeah, I feel like it has to. It's got to stay in that.
It's got to. Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? Who knows anymore? Everyone's running pretty quick. But yeah.
But either way. So when you look at like an overall reflection of it, he did what he wanted to. I didn't. And then after that, I kind of just went back into a training phase, and I'm going to take a 3-week racing break. So I'm kind of just trying to get my legs back under me, see how we feel, make sure everything's going well into my next race. You had different plans.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you went to NYC to race against some of the world's best runners at Millrose. And yeah, take us through what you were feeling beforehand, travel, how it went, just everything about it.
Yeah. So, it was, pretty cool to, run that 356, and then kind of straight after that, I knew I was going to Millrose the week later. We actually flew on my birthday, cool birthday present, trip to New York. And it was funny though, in the week leading up, for one, you had to test negative for COVID. And that was like a little bit worrying. I didn't feel ill, but just with the number of cases recently, it was kind of like, am I randomly going to have it? Thankfully I didn't. But there was also talk of a massive snowstorm kind of potentially wiping out the meet. I know that a meet in Boston got massively affected by it. They postponed the meet. And there was kind of talk of, will Millrose get cancelled? But thankfully it didn't. So anyway, we traveled to New York. It was cool. We got in Thursday night. Friday, I got to have a little jog, do a few strides at the Armory, which is the indoor track in New York, in Manhattan. And then that afternoon, I went down to the New Generation Track and Field group run. Saw Cole Hocker, Cooper Tier, Ben Crawford. Can't forget anyone. But Carter, Matt, like a load of the Oregon guys were there. Met quite a few people. It was really cool to be at. It was pretty cold and pretty miserable, but my dad actually flew over from England as well to come and watch me run at Millrose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was good. I was in the B mile, for anyone who doesn't know. So the Wanamaker mile, which was won by Ollie Hoare in 350, pretty incredible run and pretty cool to see that in real life. That's like the top mile. I was in the B mile, but it was a pretty stacked field for a B mile. And I was like pretty excited to, get in amongst it. It was meant to be paced through 800 and 157.
That wasn't even close to happening, was it?
No, they ended up like 2 flat high.
Yeah.
So,
because I just remember watching it knowing that they weren't even under 4-minute pace.
Yeah. No. And I mean, we got going, 200 bank track, obviously. I was feeling good. I was ready to go pretty quick. 200 in, I got clipped from behind. Someone bumped into me. My heels kind of clipped together, and then I was on the ground. I'm still a little bit wounded from it. For anyone who's on YouTube, I don't know if you can see my elbow there, but my elbow, my hip, my knees, all got pretty cut up. And actually, I was wearing a bib, like a name bib on my chest, as you do. It had 4 safety pins, like 4 pins in it, and it completely ripped off. It put 2 of the pins stayed in, so the paper ripped, but then 2 of the pins came out and it ripped the singlet. So not the first time a Drake singlet's been ripped. Paulina, our equipment lady, she won't.
Now
be
our
impressed.
top 2 runners have ripped our singlets. That's awesome.
But it was pretty annoying having that happen, to be honest. It's the way it goes, and it happens to everyone in the sport. But on such a big stage, there were so many people there watching. It ended up being 1 in 357 high. I was really looking forward to kind of getting amongst it and like trying to win that race. And honestly, like going into it, I thought I could run a bit quicker than I had done the week before. But I ran 4:07 and came 9th. So deja vu from a couple of years ago.
It's faster than the 4:12 you ran the last time you fell. So.
Yeah. Nebraska 2 years ago. Grim.
So you've improved by 5 seconds when it comes to falling down in the middle of a race.
Yeah. If anyone has a falling down mile PR that beats 4:07, I'll be interested to hear it. I actually thought when I got up, I was like, all right, I'm pretty like screwed now. But if I could break 4 still, that would be sick.
Oh, that would have been so sick.
But then when you get up after a fall, like your body is so ruined. You put in so much energy to try and like catch back up.
And then you're just done. Yep. The same thing happened to me in the Iowa State 5K last year.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, like it was still a really good experience to be there. And I, seeing all those guys and seeing the races, absolutely dominated. Obviously, Geordie Beamish got the win in the 3K over Cooper and Cole. Ollie Hoare beat Josh Kerr. And then even like Alicia Monson, she won the 3K in 8:31, which is pretty quick. Yeah. And then Sage as well. I think she ran 4:25 for the mile.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there, but it's definitely working.
They're on something in Boulder. even the Tin Man guys, honestly, Boulder, something in the air. After a rough couple of years, to be honest, with Tin Man, like Drew and Sam, 7:42 and 7:44 in that 3K. Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. So, yeah, onwards and upwards. I'll be back from the fall. And yeah, I guess we move on from it. And speaking of moving on, what's next, Sir Basten?
Yeah, so this weekend, both Fog and I are off. We're just chilling. But
chilling.
So I'll have like 10 days until my next race, and that will be at the Tyson Invitational in Arkansas, which I am incredibly excited for, because right now I'm frustrated, I'm angry, and I run pretty well when I'm angry generally. And I really have a chip on my shoulder right now, and I am just looking to destroy some people.
Yep.
And that's where I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it at Tyson. I don't care who's in it. Yard Nagoose can be in it. Cole Ocker can be in it. Jakob can be in it. My grandma can be in it. I'm going to win the race.
Yep.
And I'm going to run a stupid national qualifying time. If it is the last thing I do, I don't care. I'm done with it. I hate losing. I'm a sore loser. I've done some spike throws in my day. Those will continue to happen. I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. But yeah, I hate losing. I can't stand it. Tyson's going to be the one. I know it is. Well, at least I'm hyping it up to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is where I'm racing next. Traveling out there. Can't wait. So grateful that my coach could help make it happen, because he's traveling with the team to Iowa State that same day. And my dad's willing to help me come fly out with me and hang out. And it's just going to be an awesome opportunity. And it's because of the people that are around me that are really helping me out. So I couldn't be more grateful.
All it is another great opportunity.
You know it. But yeah, so that's where I'm headed.
Yeah.
We're going to be in different directions again. Tell us where you're headed.
Yeah. Just quickly on that. Tyson is where Cole and Cooper ran 350 last year. So big shoes to fill. Yeah. And also where nationals was, obviously. I can attest, I think that's the word, agree. The Arkansas track is pretty quick. Again, a banked 200. So I've got a little bit of PTSD right now. But yeah, I think as long as hopefully it'll be a well-paced race, it'll be nice and comfy early. And yeah, it's a good track for it. It's a very, very nice track for it. I think it's got to be short.
Hopefully. Well, there's 2 more lanes there to avoid falling down at than there is at the Armory. So
is it an 8-lane track?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
I know Armory's only 6.
Yeah, the Armory felt pretty for what you see on video. It's really small.
Yeah,
it's really small.
Yeah, I was counting the lanes during the stream, and I was like, man, is there only 6 here?
It's so odd,
because this is such a world-known track. You'd think it'd have 8 or 9.
But then even in the crowd, there's 4 rows of seats the whole way around.
Really?
It's really small. Yeah,
huh.
It's odd,
crazy.
Yeah, strange. But I guess New York, probably cost an absolute bomb to get it in there in the first place, and having it any bigger would multiply that price. But anyway, moving on from that, I don't know what I'm doing next, to be honest. Probably a 3K. And so Basten's going to Tyson, and on that same weekend, is that a week and a half from now?
Yep.
Yeah. So
not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Yeah. So probably around, I don't know, the 12th of February, maybe around then, I think, is the Iowa State Classic. And I'm not sure if I'll run a 3K at that or not. And if I don't run a 3K there, I'm hoping that we'll go to Arkansas the weekend after, and I'll be able to get a 3K in. The way I kind of see it is like, if I can run a good 3K, and honestly, I've got no idea what I could run for a 3K right now, but if I could qualify for indoor nationals, and feel good in the 3K, I might end up potentially doing both, because the 3K is like at the end. Mm-hmm. Focus on the mile, and then whatever comes from the 3K is kind of like a bonus. You're an All-American, like, why not?
Yep.
But we'll see. And if not a 3K in Arkansas, could be a DMR. Yeah. Kind of remains to be seen.
You say that reluctantly.
Yeah. Well, I'm just, how do I put this? Like, I don't know. I think me and Basten are both very capable of like being at nationals individually.
Yep.
And we honestly could put a pretty solid DMR together. But if we then, for example, if I qualified in the mile and the 3K, if I wasn't in the DMR at nationals, I don't know who would take the spot. You know what I mean? As in, we can put a strong DMR together. But it's not necessarily, I don't think, the best bet to really put all our eggs in the DMR basket for nationals.
Yeah. I think we both feel the same way about it. When it comes to our individual events versus the DMR, we would both rather focus on our own stuff.
Yeah.
Just because that's what we've been training and working for years. Like, this isn't high school anymore where you run the 4x8 for your teammates.
Yeah.
This is NCAA Division I nationals.
Yeah.
And like, if we were competing for a team title, then it would be different.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to add in. But
we're not.
Yeah.
So
unless if we were in there, I think realistically we could be right up there. But it's just kind of like, we could probably qualify a team potentially for nationals. Honestly, I'm not sure what it's going to take for the DMR. Actually, for anyone who doesn't know, the DMR is kind of, I think, only run in the NCAA and only run indoor. It starts off with a 1200, then it goes 400, 800, 1600. So it's kind of like it's got all the middle distance to mile events. And yeah, I honestly do think we could probably qualify a team, but then if we run it at nationals, as in me and Basten, it might then jeopardize our chances in the mile or 3K. So we'll see.
It remains to be seen, but as you can see, Fog and I have opinions about it.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily opposed to like running one. I think it could be good. We go out and try and win the conference DMR and see if we could run something quick enough there.
I think it'd be sick to do a conference.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Try and win conference. And then if we qualify a team, send a few guys along to do it. Yeah. But realistically, it probably won't be me and you.
And the main thing is, for me at least, is like, Fog already knows he's in nationals. I want to make sure I'm in nationals as an individual before I try a DMR. Yeah. If that makes sense. Just because I want to for sure have my spot locked in before I'm doing these fun races. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. But it's also like, we both know that we both should be there in the mile.
Yep.
And if you hadn't got your qualifier and we then, said, let's try and get a DMR in, if we then didn't get a DMR in and you missed a chance to run a great mile, then it would be a complete waste. Like we wouldn't have a DMR. You wouldn't be going in the mile. Like, what's kind of the point of that?
Then I'm just not going. So that'd be sick.
Brilliant. works out well.
Then I can sit and watch it on television.
Yeah, there's worse things.
There definitely is. But It's not what we want to be doing.
No, definitely not.
Moving on from all that drama, we did get 2 questions from people that we are definitely going to answer. So Fog, take it away.
Yeah. So the first one kind of asks about like walk-on standards for running at Drake. And basically a walk-on is someone who like comes to Drake, they do uni here and they're on the team, but they're not like on a proper scholarship. So you can be on the team just like as an extra kind of while you're studying, I guess. And you're still a full member of the team. You get to travel, you get to, get your kit. Well, most years.
You get to race.
Yeah. You get to race, you travel with the team, you train with the team, all stuff like that. So it's a really cool thing to do. And honestly, like, I don't know what the standards are. To be on the team, I would say for a guy coming out of high school, if you can run 4:35 in the mile, honestly.
You'd think it might be faster.
To be a walk-on though?
I don't know. I feel like it's very dependent also on like a lot of outside factors.
100%.
Like someone's, first of all, body type, the mileage they're running in high school.
Yeah.
The like just how much potential a coach sees in somebody.
That's very true.
Because when you're thinking about walk-ons, you're thinking, all right, which guy hasn't ran the times to be on scholarship, but which guy do I believe in?
Yeah. And what does their future hold? You might be a 450 guy who plays soccer for a club. You ran 1/1600 time trial in high school. You ran 450 and a coach sees that and they go, this guy's going to be good. You've got the build, or you've never run in your life. You've never trained. You're clearly like relatively fit from playing soccer. And a coach might give you a go. Honestly, I could see stranger things than like a 450 miler becoming a walk-on in a D1 team.
Yeah.
So for us, like at Drake, there's no real like set standards, I don't think, especially with Jay. Like you say, if he sees potential, you've got a chance. But if you're someone who's like running a fair bit in high school, like maybe around like 4:30-ish, I reckon for the mile, you'd be relatively safe. Maybe like, I don't know, just under 2 minutes for the 800, something like that.
Yeah.
1:58 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly. But you can always email coaches as well. If this is something like you're interested in, get online, look up schools, colleges, track and field rosters, find the coach, because you can always see the coaching staff, get their email, get their Facebook, get whatever. Send them an email and say that you're interested. You really want to run a Division I, Division II, or even Division III college in America. And say, tell them a bit about yourself and ask what their thoughts are. Just get the ball rolling, and if you don't ask, you don't get. So
completely. I think I'd say about half the schools I ended up talking to, I started the conversation with the coach before they started it with me.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing to reach out to a coach. You should be reaching out to coaches. And like really, it's like a sales job. Why are you valuable? Why would you make this team better? Like you're selling yourself to these coaches. And I mean, if you believe in yourself and you've been watching yourself do things, selling yourself should be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. And it's good, I think, to start early. I mean, I can't speak from my own experience. I came over to college pretty late and I didn't really look at many or any, to be honest, like different colleges. I kind of spoke to Jay. I spoke to like maybe 1 or 2 other coaches and just like committed straight away to Drake. But if you're, I don't know, 15, 16, you're getting near the end of your high school kind of like career, get chatting to coaches if you're interested in coming to college to run. Because if you make progress in your last couple of years of high school, the coach is going to be interested in that. Like, you might start out as a 5-minute miler or even slower as like a 15-year-old. And then by the time you're in your senior year, you might be 17, 18, but you're running like 4:30, 4:40, and the coach will see that and the coach will show some sort of interest. But again, if you don't ask, you're not just gonna, get the offer.
Exactly.
Generally, unless you're like a sub 4 guy in high school or something. So Yeah, that's kind of what I'd say to that. And again, another one asked about actually getting noticed. And honestly, like all I can say for that is like either honestly run quick, win races, or reach out, like email coaches.
Yep. I feel like that's the most straightforward and honest answer you could possibly give for that question.
Coaches, like they look at results. They love looking through results. Like I know I came over from Australia. Jay found me through, I don't even know what, he found me online, like through my results. And that's something they're looking for. So if you are running, you know, maybe a little bit quicker, or you're winning some like decent high school races, or maybe not even winning, but you're making high school teams and stuff like that. Coaches will see that, and sometimes they will message you before you email them. But you know, if they're not, then the simplest thing you can do that you're allowed to do is literally get their email and slide in. Simples. Yeah.
Same thing as sliding into a girl's DMs.
Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah. Easy done. And now, moving on. The next I think the final question we had from our last podcast was kind of like pre-race routines. So honestly, just before I ask you to kind of add to this, Basten, I think you're one of the most like relaxed guys in terms of like your pre-race ritual, like your pre-race kind of routine. I think you can speak to it, but I don't know. It's never like a set routine. You kind of just like shake your legs around a little bit, do a few strides, like, and you get ready to race. Like obviously we have a warm up, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, I would say our basic warm up is we do a 2-mile jog, and that's every time, no matter what.
Yep.
And then Fog and I are kind of on our own. We do like just random warm up stuff, like high knees, but I don't know, like
high knees, butt kicks,
like strides, and like. But I like barely do anything, if I'm going to be honest. Like I'll do like 2 or 3 high knees, and then I'll do like 2 or 3 strides before the race, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like I just think it's like that's just what you do. Yeah. It's like I'll look over, and I kind of the group I trained with in Australia, from when I was like 16 to when I was like 20-ish, they had a really strict, you know, warm-up routine. We'd jog like 3K, which is just under 2 miles. And then we'd have, I don't know, 20 minutes to half an hour of like proper drills, proper like stretches, strides, and everything like that. We always warm up like 55 minutes to an hour before, but for a lot of it, we're kind of like just chilling. I know Basten kind of is. I feel like a little bit more like I have to have a routine, I think, but it's definitely not a routine. It changes every time. But, you know, the basics of it is jog, do a few stretches, you know, a couple of drills, and get your strides in. What about dinner the night before? Do you have something set with that or whatever?
I just always try to, with dinner, stay consistent. So,
okay, yeah.
A big thing for my eating is I have a really messed up stomach, for people who don't know that. And my stomach is so sensitive to like the most random foods. And like, so I only make like 5 dinners, and I just like keep rotating them through pretty much every day. But, I think like the biggest thing for me is eat something that I've been eating quite often, just so that my stomach, it digests something that I'm used to eating, and I'm not having any stomach like shock or like any issues like going into the race, because that's really like the only thing that would ever give me a problem, is eating something that I'm not used to eating.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's smart. You don't want, I think something I always heard is like, don't change anything unnecessarily. So, you know, even if you hear, I don't know, broccoli is like great for you, for running, for example, if you've never had it before, probably like don't go and buy a big broccoli like the day of a race and like eat it. Cause I don't know, the benefits probably aren't going to outweigh your stomach going like, what have you just put in me? Yeah. You don't want to shock yourself. Like you were saying, for me, I don't really cook. Like I wish I could. I don't know. I can make like toast.
Definitely could.
I can cook I can do eggs now. Fried, scrambled, you name it. I can make eggs.
What other ways?
Fertilized. But like, yeah, I mean, they're a fairly simple thing. I was proud when I first came back to America last year. I know my mum was pretty proud. Like, I would send her pictures of me making eggs, and
nice.
Yeah, that's still all I can do. I don't know, maybe one day I'll evolve, but yeah, anyway, moving on from that, I usually eat in the dining hall at Drake. It's pretty bang average, to be honest, as it goes in general. It's not the best.
Yeah, dining halls aren't ideal for people that aren't in college.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a nice dining hall. I'll believe it when I see it, but man, the food is just so average.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. Like,
yeah,
you can always, there's always like something. So I don't know. I always eat in there, and a lot of the time it's like before a race. And I think before the Iowa State mile, they actually had chicken tenders back, which was a real treat. Like deep fried chicken, which I know isn't like good, and I tried to avoid it, but what I was eating, I was like trying to be healthy. I think I had some fish, some rice, and some vegetables, and then I was like, I'm not full. This is not ideal. You know, I'd rather be full and like feel decent than try and be really healthy and
the dinosaur nuggets were calling your name.
Yeah, so I got a load of chicken tenders. Not a load of them, but a fair few, and I ate them the night before the Iowa State mile. You see, like, I think as long as you're eating enough, and most of what you eat is like healthy-ish, generally you'll be okay. So yeah. That's kind of like my pre-race. I try and have some pasta or some sort of carbs, like rice, for example. Fish has a bit of like protein. I think fish is like decent for you. Hubble fish, Hubble's our dining hall, typically is pretty bad. But it does the job. That's what counts. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. Just quickly, what about on race day? Do you have a routine for food?
Yeah, so I make the same breakfast every day. I do eggs, toast, and oatmeal, and I've done every day for the past couple of years.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy, but yeah, so I do that same breakfast every day. And then the lunch, assuming it's not a morning race, because if it's a morning race, that would be the last meal I'd eat. If it's an evening race, I will do lunch, and it will be the same lunch.
I know what it is.
A turkey sandwich, a granola bar, and a banana every single time. And there will be nothing else but turkey in the sandwich. There will not be a single slice of cheese, no mayo, no lettuce. It would literally just be turkey and the bread, a banana, and a granola bar with less than 8 grams of added sugar, because I don't want more than 8 grams of added sugar. Wow. I'm the weirdest guy ever.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with the. I knew you were going to say the turkey sandwich thing. So I think, I don't know, we've been to like Jimmy John's before, and you've had, you know, your turkey sandwich, and you forgot to say like with no mayo, cheese, like lettuce, tomato, whatever comes on it, and you're literally there like scraping it off so that it's literally a turkey sandwich, like bread, turkey, bread, and then. I don't know, in like Florida, for example, before National Cross, like I think you literally like ticked turkey on the card thing or whatever. And when you truly do order just a turkey sandwich, they kind of look at you like, you got to be joking. But you're like, that's like your happy place, just pure turkey.
They look at me like it's a bad thing. And I'm like, man, I'm making your job so much easier.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Candace. Yeah.
Candace.
Where was that? Texas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which, I think.
Yeah. Which in Texas.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah. Good times. But yeah, no, that's a pretty decent kind of routine, I think. For me, breakfast, usually I have like porridge, oatmeal.
Porridge.
And a smoothie always, like 1 or 2 bananas, depending on the size of the banana. blueberries frozen usually, coconut water, normal water. Yeah. And that's kind of my smoothie. Sometimes actually the day of Iowa State 356, I made eggs, actually avocado as well. Pretty like classy. So I made toast. I think it was toasted bagels, avocado, and then scrambled eggs, I think. So it's pretty impressive.
I'm wowed.
Yeah. And then pretty amazing stuff. And then I had a little bit of lunch that day, like a tiny bit of a turkey sandwich. And then I always have a peanut butter and honey sandwich as well with a banana, like a couple of hours out. So yeah. I guess we've got kind of routines with that, but you can never get like too obsessed with it, I don't think. Because like, you know, if you end up somewhere where you can't get access to your pure turkey, then you don't want to like freak out, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, always drop your questions down below. Obviously, if you're on Spotify, get on that phone of yours, look up YouTube, search Fogdog and Basten, get on the video and drop us a comment if you have questions. As I was saying, guests we have coming up.
Oh, yeah. Coming up, we have a video with Derek Rubis.
Legend of the sport.
Let's go. And then moving on from that, we have our podcast with Kevin Kelly, who went to Drake, both of our friends, and now coach.
Yeah, true. Coach Kev.
So we're going to have a lot to talk about with him, and we're excited for it.
We are. I think that wraps us up for today's episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in if you're on YouTube. And yeah, lots of exciting stuff to come, and hopefully we'll have some more good running news to talk about as well.
Yep.
Stay tuned.
Hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned, and maybe we'll do a shoe reveal soon.
Oh, sounds exciting as well. Good luck with all your running. I know this is kind of like fairly focused on, you know, what's going on at Drake, but we are pretty interested in like what's going on with the outside world as well. So if you've got any like meets or races or anything coming up, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear. And maybe also, we can shout out some cool results.
Link videos in the comments would be sick. We can watch them.
Yeah,
maybe we'll like do a live watch party.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Send you a video of us watching you guys around. That'd be sick.
But
we're never doing anything. Homework's a joke in college. So yeah,
we could drag this out all evening. Like I'm not doing anything, but let us know. Honestly, we would love to hear. So yeah, thanks for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure having you all along for the journey, and we'll speak to you again very soon.
Awesome.